The movie opens with a suspenseful scene where a woman named Tiffany is clearly terrified, possibly trying to escape or hide from something in a dark, confined space. The tension is broken by upbeat music transitioning to a new setting where several young women are introduced. Veronica is showing her art portfolio to Vicky, who compliments her work, joking that Veronica could draw her since she thinks she's pretty hot. A hostile exchange ensues when another girl, Megan, harshly criticizes Veronica's art, calling it terrible and questioning if it's even art. Bambi steps in to defend Veronica, asserting that art is subjective. Lucy, who hasn't spoken yet, then tells them to come in and turn off their phones, placing them in a basket before demanding their invitations. The scene shifts into the initiation ritual for the Gamma Rho Kappa sorority. Lucy, Vicky, Veronica, Megan, and Bambi are lined up along with Blair, who arrives late. They are all introduced to Roxy, the aggressive woman in charge of the initiation, who quickly establishes a demanding and humiliating atmosphere. She informs them they have been handpicked to rush the most prestigious sorority, founded by Kimberly Blake and Angelica Grace. The weekend will involve a rigorous initiation, testing their loyalty through tasks that include getting as drunk and high as possible. Roxy immediately commands Lucy, a photography major, is the first to push back, questioning the reasoning. Roxy dismisses her concerns, forcing her to comply and warning her that she's gonna be a fun nut to crack. Vicky, an abnormal psychology major interested, is lightly mocked for her choice of study. Blair, a culinary arts major, is told to speak up. Veronica, the artist, has her work insulted again by Roxy. Megan, a theater major, boasts about being better than all the other girls, including Roxy, whom she insults by suggesting she's venting her frustration through her tough act. Roxy warns Megan to keep her attitude in check. Finally, Bambi, a law major, defends her name, explaining it came from a movie her mother liked, which Roxy darkly responds to by saying it's her favorite part, especially when the mother gets shot. The sorority founders Kimberly Blake and Angelica Grace finally make an appearance, dressed in what seem like ceremonial robes, with Roxy kneeling before them. They praise Roxy's execution of the rules and then address the pledges. They emphasize the sorority's exclusivity and their decision to choose these 6 women for their uniqueness. They explain that the pledges will be put through a ritual of initiation at any time during the weekend, and failure will result in termination. Roxy is designated as their right hand, whom the pledges must obey without question. The first official task is presented: each girl must finish a bottle of fine-grain alcohol before the night is over. Failure means being stripped and cleaning the house while Roxy paddles their bear. The girls are then paired off and assigned rooms: Lucy and Megan, Vicky and Veronica, and Bambi and Blair. In their rooms, the pairs establish sleeping arrangements. Vicky and Veronica decide to share the bed, with Veronica offering to share despite her initial plan to take the floor. Lucy and Megan immediately clash. Megan expects Lucy to take the floor and refuses to share the bed, while Lucy suggests alternating nights. As the girls begin drinking, they struggle with the task, especially Blair, who doesn't normally drink. They gather together and Blair reveals that her quiet demeanor is a result of a troubled home life where her parents constantly fought and yelled at her. Vicky encourages her to drink to forget her problems and offers to be there for her, revealing she was bullied in high school but learned to be tough. The bonding continues, with Veronica drawing a model for Vicky. Veronica confides that art isn't her true calling, she wants to be an exotic dancer, a revelation that Megan dismisses. The group's attempt at bonding turns into a spontaneous pillow fight, which is abruptly ended by Roxy. Roxy returns for the bottle check, and despite the girls finishing the alcohol, she announces that they all left drops in their bottles and will still have to clean the next day. Blair, already heavily intoxicated, passes out and the girls are ordered to take her to her room. The next morning, Bambi and Veronica are forced to clean the exterior of the house, where they worry about the escalating strangeness. They discuss the absence of other sorority sisters, noting that the entire operation seems to revolve only around Kimberly, Angelica, and Roxy. Lucy is being punished by Roxy for talking back cleaning a toilet with a toothbrush. The other girls, now gathered, worry about Lucy and the situation. Later, Lucy is in the shower when she sees a girl who disappears, making her think someone is playing a trick, but the others claim they were there the whole time. Roxy walks in on a conversation about the sorority's setup and demands to know what they were saying. After being told they were only discussing the sisters, she dismisses the others but keeps Lucy, escalating her aggressive, inappropriate behavior by joining her in the tub, suggesting a sexual component to the initiation. Kimberly and Angelica interrupt the moment, chastising Roxy for being with a pledge and reminding her of her loyalty and the fate of her counterpart, who was let go for giving into a pledge. They instruct Roxy to dispose of the phones and bring the shy one, likely Blair or Lucy, before them that night, assuring Roxy they will eliminate any interest she may have. Roxy agrees, confirming her loyalty. The 2 sorority leaders, Kimberly and Angelica, are then shown performing a dark ritual, calling upon their ancestors and vowing to carry out their revenge against all mortals for their families who were wrongfully accused and burned alive at the stakes during past centuries. They chant a sinister oath, invoking flames of life, flames of death, their blood, their flesh, and their sacrifice. The pledges attempt to bond again by playing a game of Never Have I Ever. During the game, they discover they are all virgins. Bambi then breaks down, revealing the immense pressure her parents put on her to be perfect and knowledgeable, denying her a normal social life. She expresses a desperate desire to break free from the chains and simply have friends. Megan, showing her callous side, refuses to comfort Bambi, claiming she has her own problems. The next morning, the remaining pledges gather for breakfast served by Roxy. They notice that Blair is gone and Roxy confirms that the cook got the boot. Roxy gives them all bananas, telling them they are a special treat they must keep until tonight, which Veronica suggests is a task where Roxy expects them to perform. Megan thanks Lucy for their tender moment the night before, acknowledging that pretending to be something she's not is unhealthy. Roxy is then summoned by Kimberly and Angelica, who are upset that Roxy's room was unlocked, suggesting a further decline in her loyalty after her moment with Lucy in the hot tub. Roxy assures them that she is still loyal and that she will fix her mistake by finding the intruder. The sisters remind her of her deceased counterpart, who they had to let go for falling in love with a pledge, using their history to manipulate Roxy. Later the girls are tasked with performing, which Veronica does with enthusiasm, laughing and joking with Vicky. Lucy stands up to Roxy, daring her to paddle her again. Roxy, however, changes the plan and takes Lucy away for her initiation test, much to Lucy's confusion. Kimberly and Angelica greet Lucy and assure her they know about her past humiliation, promising her that those days are over. They force her to take a paralyzing drink. They then begin to torture her by taking photographs persona and deciding to save this one for desert. Like Blair, Lucy seemingly disappears. Vicky and Veronica discuss the disappearances, sensing that something more sinister is happening, but Veronica lightheartedly dismisses the idea of being killed. Vicky asks Veronica to put on her outfit, suggesting they do some homework together, which Veronica happily accepts, promising to catch up with her later. Roxy interrupts Kimberly and Angelica's private discussion to report that she has discovered who the intruder was. Meanwhile, Bambi enters Veronica's room to find her in the outfit, ready to take a picture. However, Bambi acts strangely, trying to convince Veronica to drink a liquid she claims is for her. Veronica refuses, sensing something is wrong. Bambi, now aggressive, reveals that she is not who she claims to be, but is Heather Elstad, an investigative journalist looking into the decades of missing pledges. Bambi's earlier breakdown about her overbearing parents was merely a brilliant ruse. Kimberly and Angelica enter the room. They had been watching, having already given Veronica the paralyzing drink. Bambi, still mobile, tries to fight back but is quickly overpowered. The sisters reveal that the name Vicky was a disguise and that Veronica, now paralyzed, would be a good replacement for Roxy's deceased love interest, who had the same name. They force Bambi to watch as they draw Veronica's death. As they tear off pieces of the drawing, the corresponding parts of Veronica's body, her fingers, intestines, and head, are torn from her body, killing her. Later, the remaining girls, Bambi and Megan, are left alone. Megan, still unaware of Bambi's true identity, struggles with her complex emotions, eventually telling Bambi that she considers her a friend, a concept she's unfamiliar with. Blair, who was supposedly killed, suddenly appears and initiates Megan's test, screaming that everything is going back the way it's supposed to be. Roxy appears, explaining that Blair is her love muffin and is now an undead being like her. She reveals that she gave Blair a shot of the sisters' blood before her initiation, which saved her life when the sisters tried to kill her. Roxy and Blair now together seek revenge against Kimberly and Angelica. Blair attacks Angelica and Roxy extracts one of Angelica's eyes. In the ensuing fight, Blair uses a powerful liquid on Kimberly, causing her to writhe in agony and beg for her sister's life before being killed by Roxy. Bambi and Megan are found by Roxy and Blair, who offer them a place in the sorority. Bambi, the journalist, stabs Blair with a knife, but it does nothing. They are told they must stab their friend Megan to join the sorority or they will both die. Bambi realizes they need the liquid that Blair used to kill Kimberly. She refuses to stab Megan, but as they are cornered, Bambi manages to stab Blair in the groin with a hidden knife, stunning her and giving them a chance to escape. They hide and Megan realizes that the sisters are witches. Bambi insists that they can be stopped and they realize they must retrieve the liquid Blair used on Kimberly. Megan laughs, stating that Blair is a witch, and Bambi reminds her they are in this together. Bambi and Megan trick Roxy and Blair into entering the room and Bambi accepts their offer to join the sorority. She is inducted by cutting her hand and mixing her blood with the witches. However, when forced to eat human flesh, Bambi refuses, revealing her mortal status. The final scene jumps forward to a group of new innocent pledges arriving at the house, where they are greeted by an intact house and a new friendly-seeming sorority sister, Tiffany, who was seen terrified in the opening scene and who now serves as the decoy for the witches. The new pledges are ushered in by Bambi and Blair, who are now the new leaders, and they are ordered to strip, beginning the deadly cycle anew. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.